Morning, colleagues from broadcasting. Just to say that we will just keep you in our waiting room for now until the speaker has just positioned herself, just to avoid streaming that interaction. If you don't mind, we'll just place you and then we'll admit you again, maybe around 20 past or 25 past. Thank you, colleagues, if that's in order.
Okay. Morning, Babumbanga.
Morning again, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Are you okay? Are you happy with this?
I am happy, ma'am. For me,
Okay.
it is fine. It's perfect, ma'am. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
It was Madam Speaker.
If it will come up.
Yes.
Your mic is on.
And the Mamela
Recording in progress. Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
Morning, honorable members.
Morning, Speaker.
Morning, Speaker. Thank you, my dear. Thank you. Honorable members, we start with the apologies. We have one apology so far from Honorable Singh. Are there any other apologies?
Madam Speaker, I've received 2 further apologies, Honorable Lagude and Honorable Tlangwini.
Shakude and Tlangwini. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Kaso. Then we proceed, honorable members, to consider the items on the agenda. There's the agenda on the screen. Will somebody move for the adoption of the agenda if there are no additions or amendments to the agenda? Please.
Sheikh Imam, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Sheikh Imam. Any seconders?
I will second, ma'am. I will second Dr. Mulder speaking.
I can't hear you. I just saw a hand. Chief Whip of the Majority Party.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker and honorable members. Good morning. I second the adoption of this agenda. Thank you.
Thank you very much, honorable members. Good. We then proceed, honorable members, to deal with the minutes of the meeting of the 14th of September. Will you please flight the minutes? That was quick anyway. Are we happy with the minutes as they are, honorable members? If we are happy, then can somebody move for the adoption of the minutes of the meeting of the 14th? Honorable Kher Kuranwo.
Morning, Speaker. I move for the adoption. Correction is correct. The move for the adoption of the meeting of the minutes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Honorable Buroto.
Good morning, Speaker. Thank you very much, and good morning, colleagues. I really want to second the move by Dr. Gorenhoff. Thank you.
Thank you very much, honorable members. The minutes having been adopted and seconded by Honorable Gorenhoff and Buroto, respectively, shall we then proceed to deal with matters arising out of the minutes of the meeting of the 14th? And I now hand over to Mr. Kaso.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good morning, honorable members. The first item relates to Judge Hlophe. The matter is now before the Justice Committee. I'm aware that the committee met, I think it was yesterday, and it has agreed on a procedure to follow in dealing with the matter. Secondly, Madam Speaker, the BRICS Parliamentary Forum, we have been receiving names from political parties, and the Chief Whips Forum had a briefing yesterday, was briefed yesterday, and I'm informed that the forum has agreed to meet again on Sunday afternoon to get a further briefing on the matter. Madam Speaker, the appointment of the public protector, the WIPARI met again yesterday and the matter was discussed. There was a recommendation from the whips that the sitting be on the 18th of October. That was based on the availability or the non-availability of the City Hall on that day. Now, subsequent to the meeting, we received information that the City Hall would be available on the 19th of October. So I'm just highlighting that for this meeting to decide whether we stick with the 18th, which would have been at the City ICC, or we then say the 19th at the City Hall, which is of course a familiar space for this house. The last issue, I think that is all, ma'am. There was an issue about the chat function, and we want, from a technical point of view, we want to recommend, ma'am, that we don't reopen the chat platform. The last time it was utilized, it led to a lot of challenges in the program committee. I would like to propose that things stay as they are. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Kaso. Honorable members, those were the 4 matters arising out of the minutes. Are there any comments, any questions of clarity? Honorable Mkhaliphi, I note your
Thank you
hands.
very much, Honorable Speaker. Please forgive me of my voice. There was a matter that I raised last week in regards to the comprehensive report in relation to the venues for Parliament. Instead of receiving this, as Parliament, you are depending on the availability of the venue in the City Hall and all other places. I raised this last week, Madam Speaker. I thought it would also be formed part and parcel of the matters arising. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm struggling with the network. Speaker, may I be recognized, please?
Okay, I recognize you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I want to make a contribution on the matters arising. The first matter being that of the BRICS Parliamentary Forum. Indeed, Honorable Speaker, we received an update and agreed that let's have a follow-up meeting of the entire delegation. Because when we attend such a forum, we must come with a common approach as a country, not go there as individual MPs representing different parties. So I want to have a common perspective on our contribution and our approach as a country. Hence, we have agreed that let's meet on Sunday afternoon, where the presiding officer will be part, so that we meet as a single delegation of the country to be able to allocate also tasks, even when it comes to commissions, who goes where and what will be our input on that. So we want to formalize it here in the NAPC that it is our meeting where we are going to come up with a clear perspective as South Africa for that parliamentary BRICS Parliamentary Forum. The second one, Chair, Honorable Speaker, is on the public protector appointment. Yes, indeed, whilst we were struggling with the venue, we had to agree on the 18th, bearing in mind that the 18th is a cabinet days on a Wednesday, and meaning that it will subject us to meet at 3 o'clock instead of 2 o'clock. But because we wanted to deal with this matter once and for all, we agreed on that. But now, when late evening, when we received that there was a cancellation at City Hall for the 19th, which Mr. Klaus has just reported on, I want to propose that we go to the 19 instead of the 18, which we're going to start very late, on an hour later on the 18th, because it's a Wednesday. We have to allow cabinet to do its work. So I'm making a proposal in supporting the report that let's put that matter for the 19th on a Thursday. Notwithstanding what Honorable Mkhaliphi is saying, indeed, we must get a report, because we said we need a plan, a 3 to 6 months plan, where we that we can have a venue and not change our schedule because of non-availability of a venue. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chief Whip. Honorable Papo.
Speaker, I want to endorse what the Chief Whip has said, that we go for the 19th of October. Wednesdays, when we start at 3, are easier because are not physical meetings. They are hybrid. So even members of the executive can respond to cluster questions from wherever they are. So on a Thursday physical meeting somewhere in Tshwane, and then we start at 3 where every member is supposed to be there, it may create a lot of complications. So the proposal makes sense, is a space we would have met at. And the other issue is that we start at 2 o'clock and then deal with that item. It makes practical sense because the 18th, we're going to have to ask the executive to have their cabinet in Cape Town, finish, then come to the hall. We start at 3. So this one actually gives us a better arrangement, because yesterday when the discussion was held, the opening was not there, the City Hall. And the report which she makes, that the follow-up can be that we get a report on a plan. But for now, I think we have to complete the program for this term, and we'll get the report when it's ready. Obviously, we had agreed that it will come to the Chief Whips Forum first. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Honorable Papo. Honorable Member, before I allow you, Mr. Kasso, the proposal here is that the meeting be held on Sunday, the 24th of September, to prepare for the BRICS Summit. And that meeting, the question I want to know, I would like answered is, are we having a virtual meeting or a physical meeting? Because the BRICS, the arrival of delegations for the BRICS Summit actually is the 26th, if I'm not making a mistake. And then the meeting starts on the 27th, am I right? Now, I'm just thinking, if we are saying we want to go physical on Sunday, we still have a day, which is a party day, of course, on the 25th. Would it not be preferable that we meet on Monday, the 25th, than the 24th? I then leave it to Mr. Kasso. I'm sure you were part of the discussions when this matter was passed by the Chief.
Can I clarify, Honorable Speaker? Mr. Kasso was not there.
Okay.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the meeting, as our decision is that it will sit on a virtual platform at 5 o'clock on the 24th, so as to allow more time if members who are allocated certain tasks have to go through certain documentation. They can do that on the 25th and 26th. So this meeting that we are preparing for delegation input is proposed to be Sunday on virtual platform. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. That clarifies. I think that puts the matter to rest, because I was concerned about the fact that some people may not necessarily be available on Sunday, the 24th.
Honorable Speaker, if I may just ask, whilst we're still on the issue of BRICS, I just received an application from Social Development for the Portfolio Committee attending BRICS Summit on the 28 and 29 in Durban. How many BRICS do we have? Every time there's a BRICS this, BRICS that. Parliament is going, yes.
We have one BRICS Parliamentary Forum, and that BRICS Parliamentary Forum will be at the Emperor's Palace, and it will start on the 27th, and delegates will be arriving on the 26th. Anything else has nothing to do with the BRICS Parliamentary Forum, which I can account for.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes. On Mr. Tasso, and then followed by Honorable Frolik.
Madam Speaker, mine was to deal with the issue of the venues. We've taken note, and we are working on that, ma'am. Just to indicate that for the medium-term budget policy statement, we have a venue, and that's the only physical sitting that we're aware of before the end of this year. And obviously we'll have venues for SONA as well next year. And as soon as we know the date of the elections, we'll also be able to book a venue for the first sitting of the NA of the NA in particular. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tasso. There was a hand here, Honorable Frolik. Followed by
morning.
Yes.
Good morning, Honorable Speaker, and good morning to the colleagues on the platform. Speaker, if I may just clarify, the invitation that the Honorable Chief Whip of the majority party is referring to is an invitation that went out to the Portfolio Committee on Social Development, and I recommended that only the chairperson go. It's for a government BRICS-related conference that is taking place in KZN. It's not a parliamentary one. The chairperson was invited by the Minister of Social Development to attend that specific forum. And because I do not have the names of the parliamentarians that will attend the BRICS meeting in Johannesburg, I forwarded that application to the Chief Whip to decide upon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Frolik. Honorable Mkhaliphi.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Speaker, regards to what Bam Kaso is reporting on, is not a comprehensive report that we agreed on last week, because he's speaking about those particular days whenever we need to have a meeting of all 400 MPs. But what I was raising last week, Speaker, was to say we need to have a proper plan, because we can't operate like this going forward. It's not that it's only those days when we need all 4 MPs. We need to come and work as Parliament, whereby all 4 MPs must be under one roof. So I was expecting that comprehensive report. If it's not ready today, Speaker, we must be updated in terms of the planning going forward, how the Parliament will function while there is still building on the way for Parliament. On the BRICS one, Speaker, as much as we did have a discussion, a thorough discussion, detailed discussion yesterday on the Chief Whips Forum, but we need to have a program. We called yesterday the Ujobe to send us a program in order to take it to the caucuses today, but then it seems as if the program is not ready. I agree, we agreed on the Chief Whips Forum that we must have a meeting to prepare, as Chief Whip of the ANC was alluding to that fact. But in the absence of the program, it's going to be very difficult to brief our caucus about what is going to happen in the BRICS. If the program is ready, can all political parties be finished with the program going forward, Speaker? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable. Ndongo. Who's that? Thank you very much, Honorable Mkhaliphi. Honorable Mkhaliphi, I do fully agree with you with the matter raised by colleagues last week. I mean, firstly, with regards to the accommodation, it is a matter which we are seriously discussing and considering together with the administration. And I am sure once we are ready with the report, we will present it to you, even if it means we request through the whippery a special sitting for that. That's number one. The second one of the BRICS Parliamentary Forum next week. Yes, I'm aware since even last night that there are some areas which are not complete. Remember, much as it is a meeting of members of Parliament, we have also invited external experts to come and make presentations on specific issues. But I want to propose to the administration through USTP that even if the report is not fully ready, it is in a draft form, that members should still be furnished with copies just to have an idea of what will be happening and what discussions will be there and what is the theme and the different commissions. Even if some of the speakers have not necessarily, and I think that's one or two, have not necessarily confirmed availability as yet, but I do believe that it is correct that we should get copies of the report. Today, it is Thursday. I will request the STP and International Relations to circulate the report by end of day tomorrow. I note the hand of Honorable Chief Whip.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the report was circulated yesterday on the email, where we all received email from the Chief Whips Forum. It has the concept document, it has the draft a memorandum of understanding, it has a draft declaration, it has a program. So it was circulated yesterday as we requested. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chief Whip of the Majority Party. I'm sorry I wasn't aware that it has been circulated, but I definitely know that my directive at the last meeting this week, when we were discussing finalizing issues, I did say that parties should be furnished with the program and particularly the commissions, because people would have to allocate members to the different commissions, and those members would have to prepare for themselves. Now, if you are telling me that that has been done, then that makes me happy. I don't know how you missed it, Honorable Mkalipi, but anyway, they will still send it to your office today if you did not receive a copy. Honorable members, we're done with that. We are now on the items of the on the agenda. We were dealing with matters arising, and we are now dealing with matters with issues which are on the agenda. And the first one is a report of the committee section.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Good morning to all the honorable members and to my colleagues. The report of the committee section is as follows. There are currently 36 bills before the NA committees. The rest of the slides, Madam Speaker, have not changed since we last reported. I will limit my presentation to all those slides where there are updates. I will start with slide number 6. On this slide, we are reporting that the railway safety bill before the PC on transport has since been finalized by the committee. The next one is slide number 7. The upstream petroleum resource development bill before PC on mineral resources and energy has also been finalized by the committee. Slide number 9. On this slide, the PC on forestry, fisheries, and the environment has also finalized the climate change bills. All 3 bills are Section 76 bills. The next reporting slide will be slide number 23. We wish to report that the Portfolio Committee on Communications and Digital Technologies has also published a progress report on their work on the board of the Media Development and Diversity Agency. They have finalized the shortlist and they will report and give us more updates as they proceed with their program on the matter. The next one will be on slide 24. The committee has also published a progress report on the shortlisted candidates for the Council of ICASA. Then the last reporting slide, Madam Speaker, is the matter that was reported on slide number 25. The matter that was reported by Mr. Tasso. The committee will indeed schedule the matter in their 4th term program. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, colleague. Thank you. Honorable members, are there any comments on the report of the committee section? None. If there are none, honorable members, then we proceed to deal with items on the bills reports. The bills office, Dr.
Honorable Speaker, I'm sorry, Honorable Speaker, I'm sorry for taking you back. I just want to check that the matter that committee section is reporting about, which Mr. Taso alluded to earlier on the two judges, are we going to get the report to deal with this matter before the end of the fourth term? Because it will be important that when we rise for the fourth term, we must have dealt with the matter. If that was not discussed, I just want to make that proposal. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chief Whip of the Majority Party. Shall we then proceed, honorable members, to receive a report of the Bills Office?
Good morning, Honorable Speaker. Good morning, honorable members. On our report today, we're gonna report on the list of bills that are currently before Parliament. We want to offer an update on the number of bills that are on the order paper, bills that are in committees, and bills that are to be referred to committees. So in the list of bills before Parliament, Honorable Speaker, we've got 3 bills that are on the order paper for consideration and report. The first one is the PC on transport reported on the Railway Safety Bill. It reported with amendments. So the bill is now B7B of 2021. And the second one is the PC on Mineral Resources and Energy, also reported on the Upstream Petroleum Resources Development Bill with amendments as well. And the bill is now B13B of 2021. And the last one is the Climate Change Bill. It's now B9B of 2022. The committee also reported on this bill with amendments. So all 3 bills are on the order paper for consideration. And there are also 4 bills that are up for first reading, and we've already indicated them in our report. And lastly, Madam Speaker, all the bills that are before committees also appear on our list of bills before Parliament. So Ms. Giba has already given a report on their aim to finish dates, some of them. And now the total number of bills that are before committees are 36. So that's all from us today, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mbata. Thank you very much, Dr. Mbata. Honorable members, are there any comments on the matter, questions? Chief Whip of the Majority Party, I note you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much, Mamumbata. The one that is referred to mediation, I did not get the reasons. What is the bone of contention here? Thank you.
Okay. Dr. Mbata.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. The last time we reported on the bill, it was supposed to be referred to mediation, but I believe there were still talks between the table staff, between the 2 houses about the mediation committee. So all we know is that the bill was supposed to be referred to mediation. So it still has not been referred.
Okay, thank you very much, colleagues. Thank you. Are you happy, Chief Whip?
Not quite happy, because if we don't know what were the reasons that subjected this matter to be referred to mediation, but still matter is not referred to mediation, I mean, there's delay, and what then becomes the impact of that delay? Was if that matter is with the NCOP and they are making some amendments and it's supposed to come back to the NA, then when are we going to complete that? So if we could get a progress report better than this to say, where is this matter now? Is it on mediation? If not, what is the process which is undertaking? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chief Whip. Honorable Papo, followed by Mr. Kaswa.
Because I think I think what the Chief Whip is raising is important. For example, the presiding of the committee chairs, Member Frolik and Member Nyambi, needs to be alerted if there are processes which require mediation, because mediation is when the two houses, there are areas where there's no agreement or there are problems in the provinces. Mr. Frolik always deals with these issues very fast, so that we don't have a situation where there's a report coming to the NAPC. They may have been informed, but I think it does help that if matters usually are referred to Mr. Frolik and Mr. Nyambi, they always facilitate processes, alert the leadership of this event issue, so that they can manage the time factors. And that's the issue I wanted to, so that portfolio chairs and so on, there's a need for alerting the chair of chairs, so that at least the presiding officers are alerted and the chief whips are alerted.
Thank you very much, Honorable Papo. Maybe I should allow Honorable Frolik before I recognize you, Honorable Mr. Kaso.
No, thank you, Speaker, Honorable Speaker. No, the Honorable Papo is correct. It will really be appreciated if we are alerted to these type of incidents timeously, because ultimately it impacts on when Parliament, that's the NA and NCOP, pass the legislation and it goes to the President for assent. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Frolik. Mr. Kaso.
Madam Speaker, I will certainly provide a report on this. I must apologize. I did not expect this report, so I'm not ready to provide a response at this point, but we will certainly provide a report on the matter. Thank you.
Thank you very much, honorable members. Honorable members, just to indicate, because we are dealing with this issue of the bills, that up until now, we have not received. Remember, we had given the executive an extension for the executive to submit the bills before the end of August. Then there was a request that we should extend up to the 4th of September. Today, it is the 21st of September. We have not as yet received the list of pieces of legislation that we'll have to deal with. So my assumption now is that which we have, which has been reported, which is about 36 bills which are with us, it seems to me that is all we'll have to deal with, because I've not as yet received any correspondence or list of other pieces of legislation which would have to be tabled before Parliament. So my understanding, sorry, honorable members, is that the 36 bills which are with us now are the only pieces of legislation that we will have to deal with. I see the hand of Honorable, I recognize you, Honorable Kwahube.
Thanks, Speaker. Speaker, now I want to agree with you that considering the time that has lapsed from the 4th of September to now, and considering that you are yet to receive a list of any additional or urgent pieces of legislation, then what we discussed several weeks ago, then I think we must be hardened even more now, because clearly the committees have a lot on their plate. 36 bills in the next several weeks before the House rises at the end of the year is not a joke. And as I had indicated before, the danger we face is that if we are essentially, overloading committees, then they're not going to do justice to those bills. So I agree with you. Then it means that if you've received nothing, then it means that it is 36 pieces of legislation that we have to deal with between now and the end of the term. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kwahube. Honorable Papo.
Having said that, I think we also raised in one of the meetings that portfolio committees must just not extend the process of hearings. Sometimes bills take too long in committees, and then it impacts negatively on the NCOP. So I think Mr. Frolik also raised that issue, that they should stick to what is in the prescribed in terms of the process and not ask for extensions and things like that, which then creates a problem in the NCOP.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Papo, Honorable Frolick, and then Honorable Mr. Kaso will be the last one on this matter, because I don't want us to prolong a discussion of this matter, because as far as I'm concerned, the deadline was the 4th of September, and we have been patiently waiting. It is now the 21st of September. So I don't expect that there's further work which will be coming from the side of the executive for consideration by Parliament. I don't expect that. Honorable Frolick.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Just to continue where the Honorable Papu left off, yes, certainly, we are keeping a very close eye on all the committees that have legislation in front of it. The appeal also is that when committees come with requests, with invitations, and I dare to say also, Speaker, for further study tours abroad, if they have these pieces of legislation in front of them, legislation must be prioritized. Public hearings must be prioritized. So we're keeping an eye on that. And we have also informed the chairpersons of committees that they cannot, and the committee cannot take a decision that due to time constraints and an election looming next year, they are not going to process certain pieces of legislation. All pieces of legislation must be processed timelessly so that it can get out of the NA, so that the NCOP can start with their processes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Frolick. Mr. Kaso?
Madam Speaker, thank you so much, ma'am, for the guidance given by this committee. In the event that, ma'am, we receive legislation that has implications for the elections, for instance, we will provide advice. We'll also consult legally on how we should process that legislation. For instance, there might also be legislation to do with intelligence, which is coming out of the State Capture Commission. But we'll provide advice if we do come across such instances. Thank you, ma'am.
I hope not, Mr. Castle. The point is, we had set a deadline of end of August. Later on, it was to be extended to the 4th of September. We are now in the 21st of September. Not only that, come end of this week, Parliament will be rising and people will be going on constituency work, which means that when we come back, amongst other things, we have an obligation to finalize the work which is already before the committees. So I'm really hoping that actually nothing else is happening. Of course, I'm concerned about this electoral amendment bill. I really am, but I don't know what it is that we're going to do when eventually it comes. Honorable Papo, you had your hand up and then you removed it.
I wanted to talk about the outcome of the Constitutional Court. That's the issue I thought Mr. Kaso was talking about.
Thank you very much. Honorable Swart.
Good morning, Speaker. Good morning, colleagues. Speaker, there is a bill that is before Parliament, and it is the Protection of State Information Bill, which was referred back by the President. In the previous parliaments, it was dealt with by an ad hoc committee. Could I ask that we could get a report on that, where that bill is? I'm sure it has been listed somewhere, but I don't recall where that bill is at the moment. Maybe for the next meeting. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Swart. Honorable members, it seems to me there aren't any other hands on those matters where we require clarity, such as the one you are raising now, Honorable Swart. You will then be given a report at the next meeting. And then if there are any developments with regards to the electoral amendment bill, we will then deal with that matter as well at the next meeting. Honorable members, it seems to me we've come to the end of this. I will now invite Honorable Tseke to present the draft parliamentary program.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, and greetings to your good self and the Chief Whip of the Majority Party and all the colleagues present. With regard to today's program or this week's program, there are no changes to the program generally this week. Honorable Speaker, parties are just reminded that there will be no declaration, one on the resolution on the establishment of an ad hoc committee to consider and report on the General Intelligence Laws Amendment Bill, and also on the draft notices determining remunerations for commissioners of the IEC and of ICASA this afternoon. And there will be debate as well on Heritage Day on Friday. Just to remind parties, there will be questions to the Deputy President, and that will be the end of the third term. For the fourth term, or just to remind members, in preparation for the 9th BRICS Forum, there'll be a special meeting of the Chief Whips Forum that is scheduled for Sunday, 24 September at 5 o'clock. In the draft fourth term program, yes, thank you. We are noting the 2 Judicial Service Commission will start from the 2nd to the 6th October, and the IPO will start from the 23rd to 27th October in Angola. Honorable Speaker, from the 10th to the 20th of October in the fourth term, we have reserved or scheduled those dates for the budgetary review and recommendations reports. And then, as agreed in this meeting, the special sitting will be held on the 19th of October, which will be on Thursday, to process the report on the recommendation of a person for appointment as a public protector, which will be held in the City Hall at 2 o'clock. And then further, the plenaries and the mini plenaries will commence as from the 24th of October. And questions to the President are scheduled for the 2nd of October, and questions to the Deputy President are scheduled for the 23rd of November. We have also scheduled the debate on the 16 days of activism on no violence against women and children on the 28th of November. And due to the delays in the tabling of the MTBPS by a week, on the 1st of November, the debate and consideration of the Adjustment Appropriation Bill is scheduled for the 6th of December. And consideration of rates and taxes is also proposed to be on the 30th of November. We are appealing that there must be consultation, Honorable Speaker, on a suitable date for scheduling of tributes to Prince M.G. Buthelezi. And I think we'll get guidance from your good self and the team. And we proposing that, in conclusion, the constituency period is proposed for the 11th to the 15th December, and leave period as from the 18th of December. Thank you, Speaker. I tabled the proposed or the draft program for the third quarter. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Seki. Thank you very much. Honorable members, that was a presentation on the parliamentary program going forward. Are there any comments? Memoroto?
Oh, no, thank you, Speaker. I do appreciate the program, but there was something mentioned by the programming whip that the chief whips will have a meeting on Sunday, the emphasis of what we have already talked about. I just want to know, because it's not only the chief whips that will be a delegation to this BRICS Parliament, and also the NCOP, that maybe if I didn't hear well, it's a reminder that this particular meeting needs all the delegates that will be going there, because that's where the program will be outlined and knowing what we have to do there. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much. Yes, you are correct, Mamoroto. The meeting on Sunday, which will be on a virtual platform, is a meeting which will be preparing for the entire BRICS Summit, and the preparations will be done by all members, all delegates who will be attending the BRICS Summit. Honorable members, that brings us to the end of the discussion on the draft parliamentary program. Are there any announcements other than the one which I will hand over to Mr. Kaso?
Speaker?
Yes,
Speaker?
honorable member. Yes, I'm sorry.
Yes, Speaker.
Honorable
Stracher. I've been clarified on the Protection of State Information Bill. I withdraw my request on that issue. Thank you, Chair. I have been clarified. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Honorable Mr. Kaso, will you please give a report on the demonstration stroke protest outside of Parliament this morning?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Yes, there is a protest outside Parliament this morning. In fact, it started last night. The information I have is that it's a hashtag Unite Behind protest, which is led by Mr. Zaki Ahmad. And they've been granted permission to protest from yesterday until tomorrow at 1800 hours. And the protest is about, according to the documents I've seen, it's about greed and corruption, or corruption and greed among members of Parliament. That seems to be the purpose of the protest. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, honorable members. Just to say that that memorandum, they've also made a proposal as to who they will hand it over to. Mr. Hlengwa, Honorable Hlengwa, will receive the memo. So far, I'm told that it is quite organized, peaceful. So maybe we shouldn't anticipate challenges other than the fact that they are there and addressing amongst themselves and engaging on the matters they are protesting about. So, honorable members, that was the last item for me. Are there any other announcements? Mr. Council, Chief Whip, Majority Party, nothing? If none, I'm then adjourning this meeting until next week. No, next week, yes, maybe we should have.
No, ma'am, we have BRICS next week. We have BRICS for Parliamentary Forum next week. We will be in recess in any event.
Yes. So there may be no need for us to meet at all.
No, not next week, ma'am. Well, we'll meet on Sunday, obviously, but in a different setting. Okay. So we'll indicate a time for the next meeting of the program committee and the date. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, honorable members. Meeting is adjourned until the next one. You'll be given a notice. Thank you, honorable members. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Recording stopped.